I tell the wrestlers this all the time. The winning wasn't important. What I discovered on that journey, that 6-month journey I went on, was that I was really capable of doing extraordinary things and pushing myself, my mind, and my body in ways that other people really can't comprehend unless they've experienced that. And I've taken that, and I'm now, it's a long time from then. I'm thinking 25 years, and I've used it often.
Yeah.
And I've built on it. So wrestling prepares you better than just about anything else. So wrestling, I've always described as half sport, half martial art.
Yeah.
Because it's not a sport that you can just go into the weight room and then go to practice and then not think about. You know what I mean? Diet matters, lifestyle matters, time management matters, because so much of your life is dedicated off the mat to these pursuits of making sure you're training your weight down the right way and do it. So it's much more than just a sport. And when you're 12 or 13, if you're anything like I was, you'd stop listening to your parents. Mm-hmm. If my dad said go right, I pushed to go left. And my dad's a good man. He was a good father. So you need people in your lives. There's a lot of kids, and there's a lot of kids out there who don't have dads. Mm-hmm. Or whose dads, frankly, maybe aren't as good of men, you know what I mean? And maybe have taught them some of the wrong things. And so if I could teach those kids, or maybe haven't experienced watching somebody in their house getting up at 6 a.m. every day and going to work and grinding. And if we can move the needle for them, why would you not want to do something like that? That's my life's work. Built a culture based on what I call, my big three are trust, love, and truth. And you build trust with people. You establish love, and that, in my case, that's tough love. I'm a bootstraps, throw you down, pick you up, and hug you type guy. But then this culture of not beating around the bush with people, telling people my story, being self-effacing and vulnerable, and telling the truth about myself, having my coaches tell the truth about themselves, putting our truths on the table, and then going to work on them and improving ourselves. If you're going to move the needle on a young man or woman's life, when you get them at 12, 13, 14, and they've learned 12 or 13 or 14 years of maybe not the best habits, it has to be arduous. It has to be disciplined. The contact hours have to be extreme, and they have to love you to a degree, so that when you tell them the truth and you make them practice in the way that we made them practice at Oak Park. I'm talking about, guys throwing up in the garbage can and hard workouts harder than your listeners couldn't comprehend unless they were high school wrestlers at Oak Park. I mean, the other high schools didn't practice anything like us. You know what I mean? You create an atmosphere where they change themselves. You can lead a horse to water. You know what I mean? You can't make them drink, and you can't. All you can do is create an environment where people want to do this. They see the light. They believe in your mission. They believe in the stories that you're telling them about where they can be in life that maybe they didn't see before. And you say, but here, this is the greatest thing about this, guys. There's no secret to it. It's called hard work. To reference Beat the Streets. When we're creating our values as an organization, I thought about our time at Oak Park, and that's kind of what we're doing, is trying to scale this Oak Park program citywide. And Tim Philosophist put them in order and said, well, they're called our Aggie values. So accountability, gratitude, grit, integrity, and excellence. These are things that every human wants. Every kid wants. Every kid wants a great idol. Every kid wants discipline, accountability. Every kid wants to feel like they're doing things the right way, integrity. Everybody wants to strive for excellence. You're absolutely right. And that's the formula. It's always been the formula. So you have to convince these kids, no, it is in your best interest to get up and go for that run that Kendall went for, in that show. And to do that 50 times on your own when nobody's looking, that shapes you forever. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I don't care if it's chess club. And you get up, you set your alarm at 5 a.m. and you study what Boris, whatever his name, is doing. You know, I don't care what it is. It's ballet. If it's, English literature, it has to be arduous. Yep. Right? You have to be dedicated. You have to sacrifice. You have to feel pain. And from that pain and that sacrifice, growth happens. And, so formula's not easy. You got to be able to work for it. Mm. And our city needs this. Our city's hurting. And the economic disparities are real and undisputable. And what we're seeing is that it's trickled down to sport.
Yeah.
And these kids, these programs that used to have standalone wrestling rooms in their schools, who have state champions in their past, and rich traditions.
These are some of the Chicago public schools.
Yeah, are now practicing in hallways on AMF gymnastic mats with no tape, in socks, with one coach, because their 4 coaches have been cut to one coach. Oak Park's got 6 coaches on stipend right now. So these kids who need this more than ever before have less opportunity than ever before. We need people on every front. Every dollar counts, every volunteer counts, and we're growing this thing. And it's a really magical time to join up with Beat the Street.